don't know where the song is. Hey! This was a total, like, we're going live right now. I'm feeling good. Impromptu. And my mom is here.
Hi.
It's go-go. Whoa, good. Got longevity in my life. Oh, all right. How y'all doing? They're moving the village into their room. All right, just keep it nice and clean. Don't get too crazy.
Oh, we'll get crazy enough. We'll get crazy enough for you.
All right. So it's a Saturday night show, and it was just like impromptu. We didn't promote it, so it's probably not going to be much people listening. But my mom doesn't know how the internet works, so basically now this will be up on the internet and people can watch it.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's cool, you know. Hey, one view. Look, somebody's watching. You guys can. Somebody say hey to my mom on the messenger thing. Here, let me open this up. Hold on. And then, see, now people can actually... So this is the show live, Mom, on the internet.
Okay.
Okay, there's a live chat, so people may chime in and say, hey, you rock, or oh, my God, I hate those glasses, or...
Yeah.
So this is live, and it's like a 20-second delay. So you're muted, so you don't hear both of them.
Okay.
All right, everybody. Hey, we got 4 views. See, it shows how many people. See, my mom's new here.
Nice. Okay.
4 views. Look at that. 4
He's
people.
worth it.
Oh, stop, Mom. Come on now. So, I don't know what has brought. I can't quite. First of all, I can't figure out what's going on with my hair. I just did the big shower. Let's figure out what are we gonna do with this hair. You know, it is what it is. We're working on it. We got board shorts today. We're going to the pool. So I have a whole new attitude. A renewed attitude, Mom. So, you know, it's like this week was 22 months since I started. So 22 months ago, I was 275 pounds, and I was incredibly sick and incredibly depressed and incredibly hopeless, because for like 20 years I was trying to lose weight and I just failed like a million times. And, you know, like I've said in the past, I've done it all. You know, the whole slim fast, you know, trying to be vegan, to joining 400 boot camps and personal trainers, and just couldn't get the food happening. So, I don't know, this time just somehow worked, thank God. And I broke 100 pounds about a month ago, 100 pounds down. And I kind of coasted for a couple of weeks and ate a little bit and just kind of was like, oh, you know, all the intensity leading up to it, I was like, I just kind of need a break. Then when I started getting back on the beam with the whole thing, I couldn't really find a kind of a focus, you know, because I'd had like that, you know, for whatever it's worth, better or worse, me having the goal of 100 pounds to lose was a really good goal, and it was a really definable goal, and it really fueled me. There's a weight loss, or not really weight loss. He's more like, well, he helps with people with weight, but he's an athlete, an athletic, like behavior modification psychologist guy, something like that. I don't know. He used to be like an amateur baseball player, and he works now with like Olympic team and, you know, all these pro sport guys to get them to get their mojo on, and what psychologically drives people to be able to work out and get in the best shape of their life. Anyway, his name is James Clear, and he's like a behavior modification. And what he says is goals that are measurable are improvable. So if you have a goal, like, you know, it's like, here's what I want to do. I want to, you know, go to the gym 5 days a week, or I want to bench press 200 pounds, or I want to lose 50 pounds. These are like definable, measurable goals. They're not like, oh, I want to feel a little better, or I want my clothes to fit a little like that. Those are not really like definable goals. So I'm really more about the definable goals. Also studying for the ACE Fitness personal trainer exam, they talk about the importance of definable goals. And everybody can have their own. I mean, some people it's measuring themselves. Some people it's attendance based. James Clear in his podcast with Abel James. So if you go into I'll go onto YouTube and just search Abel James, James Clear. They have their little hour-long podcast from a couple of years ago. I've watched it countless times. I really like it, and he talks about when you're starting something new. He says make your goals attendance-based and not performance-based. So he says a lot of times people are starting out in the gym or they're just getting started with this, like. They want to like say, oh, I want to bench press 200 pounds, and I want to be able to do, 50 push-ups or whatever it is. He says, don't make those your goals at first. Make your goals attendance-based, which means I'm committing to going to the gym 3 mornings a week, and I'm committing to walking 2 mornings a week. And then at the end of the week, when you accomplish that, now you've accomplished your goal. And then for the next week, you'd make another, attendance-based goal, and and then maybe after, sorry about that, after a few weeks of that, you'd be like, oh, I want to add in 1 day of bike riding, or I want to now add in this or that, or whatever, And then after a couple of months, when you've got the routine, then you can start to put in more performance-based goals, which is, I want to lose this much weight, or I want to lift this, I want to drop my run to 7-minute mile, or whatever it is. So I don't know why I'm getting into all that. That's kind of not exactly what my concept was, but it kind of went there because, so a couple of weeks ago, I was like feeling the itch, like I want to get the intent, because the way I've lost weight has been weird. It's not been weird. I think a lot of people do it like this. I've researched so many people, and it seems like a lot of people do it this way. It's like you go in hard waves, and then you kind of coast, and you hit it hard, and you kind of coast. For me, it hasn't been just like lifestyle change. It's been like for me to say like, oh, I've lost this weight because of my lifestyle change is completely to marginalize what I've experienced. It's just like saying it's a lifestyle change is like, that's just like saying, that's like getting bit by a snake and I die. And that's, it doesn't explain like how you die. Like there's way more to it to me than just that. It's been for me anyway. So it's been go hard, saturate myself in the process, kind of obsess with it, eat, sleep, and drink it. Go hard, lose 6 pounds, 10 pounds, 20 pounds, go for 6. Usually I would do it anywhere from like 6 to 9 weeks hard, and then coast for sometimes a few days, sometimes a few weeks. A couple times it was even for a couple of months. Last summer I coasted for a large percentage of the summer. When it was all done, I think I'd put back about 3 or 4 pounds, and then it was like, all right, let's get cracking. So this time was about 2 weeks of kind of coasting and losing my way with things a little bit. And then, but then when I started to rev back up, I didn't have that 100-pound goal anymore. And I was like, well, to thine own self be true, knowing my personality and knowing how I operate. I don't operate like in the touchy-feely zone, the kind of abstract zone. I'm better off in a more rigid militant style. So I haven't really known what to do. It's been strange. I've known that I wanted to really start lifting weights, but then it was like leading up to my 100-pound weight loss, about 3 days before the weight loss, I broke my rib. So actually the video, what's funny, all that like 21 months of losing weight, all I thought about was how unbelievable I wanted my before and after video of losing 100 pounds to be. And the after video is so awful. I mean, I'd lost 100 pounds and I looked better, but I was in so much pain, like writhing, like when you breathe, when you break a rib, it's serious pain. and my shoulder was jacked, and my neck was like the whole assembly here was like in shock, and it was like inflammation all over my back and my ribs. And I was like, so when I went to go do my big, before and 100-pound down before and after video, that I had put all this stuff on, but when I finally got to it, it was terrible. And I only watched it like one time after I made it, and I was like, oh my God, it was so painful, but it's there, it's for posterity. So then it was like, all right. So then for like 2 weeks, I just, chilled out and, had some pizza and didn't really work out consistently. And I was still intermittent fasting most of the time, but it was kind of sketchy, and it wasn't the same. And then, a couple of weeks ago, I'm like, all right, Lugo, come on, man, what's our next goal? And we couldn't really find it. We there's more people inside my head, which there is. We had a whole meeting, me and myself. What do you think of that, Mom?
Yeah,
There's actually people watching this. Isn't that weird?
that's wonderful.
But what's the best part of this whole weight loss thing is that, you may actually get to help somebody and save their life.
That's right. That's the
Because this
difference.
is serious business, kids. I mean, I make light of it and make it funny sometimes, but this is no joke, man. I didn't lose 100 pounds because, I wanted to look a little better in my prom picture. This was like, it wasn't that. This was like I was dying. So now I've got this friend, Beth Narvaz, who's all gung-ho, Spartan racing. She's lost 75 pounds. She's been on the show. We'll get her on in a couple of weeks. We'll figure out a show. She's been fasting. And I think we've somehow kind of inspired each other, because she lost weight totally almost with the gym. And I lost weight totally almost just with dieting. It's like we did it totally different, which tells you that, anybody tells you there's one way to do this, run. Because they're full of it. There's many ways to do this. But she kind of inspired me to start working out and lifting. And so going back to this James Clear thing, I know I'm bouncing around a little bit, and if you have any questions, there's a messenger thing, and you can send me a message, a live chat. It's called live chat. I think it's at the bottom. I'll just go. I'll say something. I'll say, yo, on the live chat. And if not, that's fine. But, I've been struggling to figure out like what my goal is. So then I had an idea for a goal, which was, all right, I want to be able to do a chin up. So I ended up buying a chin up bar, like a power tower with the little rubber sissy band to weight assist me. So I started doing the chin ups at the house here, and then I kind of retooled the gym a little bit, and I started more working out. This was earlier this week, and I took a class at the YMCA, like a body sculpt step class. It was cool, I mean, it's like, I'm in the morning. It's the morning I'm fasted. I'm up and I'm out and I'm working out. Whether I'm boxing or doing CrossFit or walking, it doesn't matter. I mean, sometimes I just get up and I mow the yard and start cleaning the house fasted. It's just, for me, it's like, just get up, don't eat, and start moving. Chip your body into to hunting mode. But I started thinking about, the James Clear thing, and then Beth's trip, and it just things started to transpire this week, and also the stress was getting to me. The kids were getting to me, clients, work, everything was kind of mounting, and I think it was like Thursday was kind of the peak of it, and just in pain, like just mentally, just trying to deal with everybody and everything, and money and bills and kids and stuff and cars, and and I just kind of like, I don't know, I just was like, I gotta get it together. So I've really got it together now. It's weird. I've been working out every day. I track everything. I have a spreadsheet, and it's basically the day, the date, my weigh-in for the morning, how long I fasted, calories for that day, what time I stopped eating, and then my workout. And I've also, through all of this, been, because of my rib, which ended up becoming a blessing in disguise, because by breaking my rib, I had to start to kind of deal with my rib, which got me to massage therapy and chiropractor and all this stuff, which really elucidated some chronic issues that I've been having with my back and my posture that have really impeded my growth as far as being more athletic. So now that I've been going to all these people, and my chiropractor, who's an awesome dude, got me to get a foam roller, and I've been foam rollering, which I've known about for forever, and I've owned foam rollers. I just never really did it. Now I'm like committed, kind of all over the place. I don't know. I mean, I'm all pumped up and excited. I weed whacked tonight. It's like I'm the new me. Get up off the couch and stop being a bum. But we have a leaf blower. We should, you know, what we should do, Mom. When we get done with this, we should take the leaf blower in there and hit the kids and the dog. And, man, when you take a leaf blower and turn it on in the house, it's exciting. It gets everybody jacked up.
That's a real.
Oh man, you're kidding me? You know what Bo does? He tries to escape. He wants out of the house somehow. He just wants to get away. And Jake keeps running to me. Yeah, Jake runs up to me. He's like, "Hit me, do it in the face, do it in the face." He loves me to go right in his face. It's like, ah! Riker runs, Bo runs, Jake runs towards me. Different personalities. Something's great's going to happen with my hair. It's just not going to be right now. All right. But so I worked out all this week. I started lifting. I'm starting to feel better. I'm starting to feel stronger too, like more. And I was like, man, I've been watching that. There's a video called 3 Bars of Death. It's these 2 CrossFit girls, Dana Lynn Bailey and somebody else, and they just do 3 little circuit, like a 3 circuit thing, and it's just like 20 minutes, and they're just pounding like death metal, and they're like, oh yeah, and they're just like, I think it's deadlifts, overhead press, and bench press, I think, something like that. But I was just watching, I'm like, man, I gotta get back into CrossFit. So I called Andy Hunt, my buddy who now owns CrossFit 615. I hit him up last night, and I'm like, man. And I was like super like kind of honest with him. I said, man, every time I've gone to CrossFit, I just quit because it gets me so down about myself, because I just feel like, man, I can't do it. I can't do anything. I can't do front squat. I can't do all this stuff. I get so negative about myself. But I love the vibe of it. I love the community of it. And I'm like, so I hit him up and I'm like, hey, I'm thinking about going back, but like, I really want to do it this time. And I told him that, I said, it's been a journey with my health and my fitness. And I said, I feel like I'm in a kind of a better place, because actually the other day I realized I can do a lunge. I haven't been able to do a lunge in years, man, which is like where you step forward and one knee down.
Yeah.
Well, just being so heavy, and my knees being so funky from bursitis and operations and torn meniscus and all this yeggy hootenanny that's going on with me. But again, there's a messenger if you have questions. But also subscribe and like and make a nice comment. Say nice things. Say anything. If you want to say, like, what my mom would say, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. Go torture somebody else.
Yeah.
People are pretty nice to me. Some people like really egg people on to be mean to them on YouTube and stuff. That's not really my thing, but. Oh, so I hit up Andy. I'm like, hey man, CrossFit. I want to do it, and I've quit. Actually, being really super candid right now, even though my mom is sitting right here. About 7 months ago, I was at CrossFit 615. Clelia, the girl that was one of the trainers there, was doing the class, and like in the middle of class, I just started crying. And she came up to me. She's like, "You all right?" I'm like, "Yeah." And I just like literally just walked straight out of the door and never walked back again. And it was like I had some stuff going on in my life that was like overwhelming, but at the same time, it was like I was doing CrossFit and I just was miserable. And, you know, so I told Andy last night, I'm like, "Hey man, I want to go." And he's like, "Hey, I'll reinstate your," because it's through this thing called Watify. It's like, it's through the CrossFit organization. But if you don't go for like 45 days, they sever your ability to like go and see your account and everything. They don't cancel your account. They just it dies online. So then the company that the box that you go to, the CrossFit gym, they call them boxes. Tell my mom, they have to reinstate it. So I said, "Listen, I'm thinking, blah blah blah." He's like, "Well, listen, man." He says, "Go in the morning. I'll reinstate it now. Go in the morning and drop in. Just do a single class." So, and he waived it, which was cool. They waived it when I got there. I didn't have to pay for it. So I said, "All right, I'll do it." I said, "I'm gonna," and I made a commitment, because that's what it's all about. That's the whole James Clear thing. It's like, make it attendance-based, make your commitment, stick to your commitment. That's it. All right, we're going to get into this in a second. I'm going to finish this, then we're going to get into the real stuff. So needless to say, I went to CrossFit this morning, 7:30. Clearly it was there. She was so happy to see me. Last time she saw me, I was crying and walking out the door. But I did all right. I did pretty good. I was a partner workout, and I told the guy, I said, "Listen, man, he was so cool, and he was a good athlete. He used to own a gym and everything." I said, "Listen, this is where I'm at. I'm just gonna do all of my stuff, all the modifications and whatever." Anyway, needless to say, I did pretty good, and it was a total of a 2,000-meter run, which part of it's uphill. And I ran the whole thing, 2,000-meter run. It was 1,200-meter run, then an 800 and a 400. No, a 1,200-meter run, and then a 400 and a 400. Or no, 1,200-meter run, and then an 800-meter run. Started with a run, ended with a run. I did good. I made the run. I couldn't believe it. I felt lighter too. It was weird. That was one of the things I hated about CrossFit. It was like, the warm up part. Like the first thing you get there, like, "All right, go do 800 meters," and it's like, up a hill. So it's like, when you're fat, sick, and nearly dead, it's not the excitingest, the most excitingest thing ever. But I did good, and I made it through the WOD. I felt really good, and I left, and everybody was happy that I was still alive when I left. I didn't come out in a body bag. No, just kidding. And that was it. So I'm back on CrossFit. My app is reinstated. My WOD is my count is up, and I told them I'm making an absolute commitment to go a minimum of once a week, shooting for twice a week. Also, I've got some classes I like doing at the Y. I work out at home, the pool, bike riding, a little bit of everything. So I feel a lot better. I feel really like I'm on the right track now for getting that physique. Because that's the thing, like I'm like, I see this vision. I don't really see myself as like, you look good, you got it together. I really like have a physique. Really, it's like the real me's in there. So the first 100 pounds was like, the first thing we had to do is just like strip the paint job off, just see what we actually have, which now we can see it. And it's like, oh, okay, well, we got work to do. So, lists and commitment and writing things down. So I worked out with my buddy this morning, who is having his own little stuff going on. And we chatted, and the key to this thing is just my experience. And I really think that this is the key for a lot of people, if not everyone. But I'm not going to put it out there like that. But the key to this whole thing is not to base your behavior on how you feel. I'm fat and lazy. I never want to go to the gym. I never want to get up and do CrossFit. I never want to get up and box. Like, that's not my natural instinct. My natural instinct is to get up and space out. I love to get up and just kind of mutter around the house and stare into space. I don't know. But so what I told my buddy today, because he's struggling and he's kind of like floundering to nowhere right now, and he's got about 100, 150 pounds to lose. I said, you absolutely need to take you out of the equation because you are the problem. So I have to take me out of the equation because I'm the problem. I'm the problem. I mean, if you're watching this video right now and you're 50 pounds overweight and you got type 2 diabetes and you're fat and depressed and a bum knee, and if nobody has told you, it's your fault. You're the problem. It is your fault. It is your fault, and you are the problem. And that is the most beautiful thing anybody can tell you. Because being fat and depressed is a lot about blaming. And it's him, and it's her, and it's society, and it's the government, and it's the wife, and it's my daddy did this, and he was mean to me, and she did that, and why, no. You're fat, and you're shot out because of you. Not anybody else, and not any situation. So, your best plan of attack for overcoming your malady is to take you out of the equation. So for me, I get up and want to sit around and space out. I want to check emails and go on Facebook like there's anything remotely interesting to watch at 7 in the morning. What, bombings in cities that are, or pictures of cats. Like, I have no business waking up and like making that my life. And it's one thing to be informed, it's another thing to be inundated. It's okay to be informed, but being inundated is not healthy. So I got to take me out of the equation, which means I have to make my commitment. So what I told him is I said, you know what you should do? Figure out a game plan with how this would work best. 2 days or 3 days or 4 days or a full week. You need to log all of your food prior. You need to be like, all right, it's Sunday night. You sit down, you go, Monday, I'm going to fast till 11 or 12 or 1 or noon or not fast, whatever your deal is. And I'm going to have, some Greek yogurt and a banana. And then I'm going to wait 3 hours and I'm going to have a handful of nuts. And then when I get off work at 6, I'm going to, do this. And then I'm going to go to the gym or I'm going to take a walk. And I'm going to stop eating at 7. I'm going to take my vitamins. I'm going to drink a gallon of water. I'm going to get 8 hours of sleep. Whatever it is. Make that commitment for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, let's just say. And now you get up and you literally just have your list of what you need to do. And you only do what's on the list. Nothing more, nothing less. Don't get creative and don't be a wise ass and start thinking you know anything. Because you don't. If you're fat and you're watching this, chances are you don't know shit. So, don't get creative. Don't be smart. Don't know anything. Just put your list together. Stay in your calories. Eat as much whole foods as possible. Get your little workouts in or walking or wherever you're at. You're biking, you're swimming, you're CrossFit, whatever your trip is, boxing, lifting. And just have your schedule. And that's it. Don't deviate from it. Now, we're not machines. If you deviate, you just get right back on it. And you may want to leave yourself wiggle room. Let's say Monday, for me, I use my Fitness Pal. I stay in my caloric deficit 5 to 6 days a week when I'm cutting. The old cut. So I know for me, I need, my Fitness Pal says 1,500 calories, which is awesome. It's hard sometimes to only, usually like today was 17, which is fine. I mean, obviously I lifted with my buddy here and I did a full CrossFit class and ran 2,000 meters. So, I'm good. And all of that was on an empty stomach. And I've drank I had a kombucha and a full gallon of water, and carbs were kind of low today. So we're good. We're good. We're good. We good. So, but take you out of the equation. Don't be smart. Don't know anything. You know, and just know if you're fat, it's your fault. That's it. It's not anybody else's fault. There's no one to blame. You did it to yourself. And then, you know, it's funny. That's like the most liberating, beautiful thing anybody could ever tell you. Because if you know that it's your fault, then you can fix it, right? If you think for a second it's because of the chick or daddy or whatever your BS head trip is, well, now you can't do anything about it because you can't change them. You can't change the past. You can't change the situation sometimes, right? It's that wisdom to know the difference. Once you just take the brunt of all the blame and you just accept the fact that you're a loser right now and you need to make some changes, well, now you're in business. Now there's hope. It's that whole thinking it's somebody else. And when you think that somebody else, and that's a big fat people thing. You know, you hear, you know, I'm working with fat people now, man, you listen to some bullshit stories, man. Listen to these fat people, man. Boy, they got all kinds of excuses why they're fat. Nope. You just shovel food in your face because you hate yourself. End of story. Even if you got thyroid issues, you're still shoveling the food in there. So take yourself out of the equation. That's the most important thing for me anyway. When I start acting like, you know, some hip slicking cool dude and I want to just fly by the seat of my pants, I'm putting the weight back on. I've got to stay. I know what I need to do, and everything for me is in a list. You know, I mean, that's just the way I am. I mean, here's, if you see my phone, well, there's my little to-do list, which is, you know, the top of my, you know, so what do I got to do? Oh, shorts, swim trunks, and belt. That's what I got today. Okay, that's my to-do list. Next thing I gotta do is a spreadsheet for all my bills. Oh, I gotta make sure a couple of bills are coming in as paper bills. I gotta do a new Gear Sluts banner. I gotta get a battery for my watch. Like, I've got like my little to-do list, right? So that's one thing. Now I look at that sometimes 50, 30, 20 times a day because I just want to make sure. And as I got to take this off my insurance, or I need to, you know, get my tire checked or whatever, you know, it just goes on the list, whatever the list is. The other thing is this, MyFitnessPal. Boy, that's where the road meets the rubber. Where's it? The rubber meets the road. Rubber meets the road. This is an app that you just basically put in your food and it tells you how many calories. That's all I count. I don't really count macros. I kind of have an idea of, you know, I know where to eat with fat, protein, and carbohydrates. It's very natural. With calories, it's good for me to just constantly be like, all right, cool. You know, and obviously, you know, you get hormonal leverage when you fast and you be careful with too many carbohydrates. I know Dr. Fung says calories don't matter. It's all hormones. That hasn't been the case for me. I mean, it could be. I mean, if I ate maybe a perfect hormonal diet, but I don't. So, you know, you have to, you know, to thine own self be true. You have to know your own limitations. You know, it's like some people will tell you, oh, you can eat whatever you want as much as you want, you know, as long as it's just like broccoli. That's great. I'm not going to eat that much broccoli. That's like, I didn't get fat because I crave broccoli. I got fat because I crave pizza and tacos. So, you know, I don't know, man. You guys find your own way with this, but I love you guys. But get your lists. Commit to your food ahead of time. Stay on your lists. Stay with your strictness, especially for the first 6 months or a year. For me, it's 22 months, and I'm stricter than ever. I enjoy it. I don't see myself ever not doing this. It may be, but I mean, now like, MyFitnessPal is kind of a ritual of eating. Now as I order my food or I'm making food and I sit down and I just breathe and I just log my food and I have everything. I have all my favorites. I just go click, 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 food's done. Unless I'm like, you know, improvising something. But that's the other thing that's helped me with the weight loss. I I don't do a lot of winging it. You know, I'm kind of more structured with my food. I'm structured with the time that I eat. How you doing, Schmoops? You want to say hey to everybody?
Hey,
Come on.
hey, 100 people that are on live. Goodbye.
100? There's only 4.
Oh,
Give me a kiss. Give me a kiss. Don't tell Toad to come here and say hey. But there you go. I mean, that's kind of my thing. I think the less that you improvise, the less that you fly by the seat of your pants. Just remember, if you're fat, the seat of your pants lie to you, and they're big, and they're just nasty, and you just don't need to be listening to it, because whatever it's saying, it just hates you and it wants you to be fat. Yeah, it just it's like the old I don't know. It's like the devil talks to me, and I can't differentiate because he talks in my voice. I don't know. It's like that internal battle, but I'm feeling good, man. I'm enjoying this working out, CrossFit. Say hey. Give me a kiss. Give me a kiss. How you doing, buddy?
good.
You just fart. Get out of here. Ugh. Just let one go on national internet. I've never done this, just like jumped on this live thing like this. I was so jacked up and inspired. I'm watching cooking shows too. Yeah, I'm a weird one. I love to watch people eat while I'm fasting. Well, what do you think Freud would say about that?
He's got a lot to say.
Yeah.
Write a book.
Who cares about Freud? Who cares what that guy has to say? What does he know?
He knew a lot.
Yeah, just kidding. All right, y'all. Hey, so subscribe, like, make a nice comment. I've been reading the Warrior Diet again too. I love it. I put it on Audible and I put it on my headphones while I mow the yard. I can't recommend that more than I do. I mean, that's the holy grail of what I'm doing. So, Ori Hofmeckler, the Warrior Diet's really good. Down below in the comments is all the links and whatever, man. I got certified as weight loss management specialist. Specialist. Whatever. But because I was going to, I want to really start doing this professionally at some point. But now I've got all the paperwork, all the literature, and I paid for the fitness nutrition coach certification. And I got it, and I just couldn't, I don't know, I started working on it. This was maybe 4 months ago, and I just was like, ugh, I can't do this. It was just like, well, I wasn't in the mood to read or something. But I've got it, and I'm going to start back on it. I'm going to start putting a little time in every day. Probably take me a month. It's a fair amount of reading. I mean, for me, I'm not like, what's the lady's name? Speed reading, Eleanor or something.
That's good.
But, we'll get through it. So anyway, you guys can do it, man. If I can do it, 53 years old, lose 100 pounds. If I can do it. And I mean, I failed miserably for decades. I did it all, from boot camps to slim fast and everything in between. I think that's it, man. People are watching. Nobody's messaged anything though. It's just been kind of like, just
They're listening.
yeah, they're just they're taking it in. And I sound like I get really intense about this, and maybe it sounds a little rough around the edges, but it's just because I don't know, man.
Oh, it's working.
There's an old story, joke, whatever you want to quip, whatever you want to call it. So there's a guy, I'm going to end and we're going to leave after this. There's a guy, and he's with his buddy, and they're at his farm. And the guy's like, oh, let's move these things over here. He says, hey, let's get the donkey in the barn. So the dude that owns the donkey walks up to the donkey, and he grabs a 2x4, and he hits the donkey across the head as hard as he can, breaks the board over the donkey's head. And the guy's like, why'd you do that? He said, well, the first thing you got to do is get his attention. You're the donkey. Fat ass. You can do it.